Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I think I could probably make it by then. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I got to let you go. Hello. I didn't see you over there. I'm Ryan Kazera from the GPK Boys show. I bet you're thinking to yourself, man, that's a lot of cool mugs and cool colors. You're correct. You head over to the GPK Boys store, you can own one of these mugs yourself in one of these fine four colors. While I have you here, I also want to remind you to register to win the Jasmine Contois sketch card and Acronis frame. All the details are right below. Thank you, and have a great day. Okay, yeah, I'm back again.
Hey guys, Nick Atef from the GPK Boys. Ryan's on special assignment today, so he's not going to be joining us. But with the new release of Chrome 4, we were able to secure the man that has the most current information to date. Very own GPKnews.com, Jeff Rockhold. Jeff, thanks for joining us.
Hey, no problem. I'm happy to be here, Nick. Thanks.
What can you tell us about Chrome 4 offhand?
So last Thursday, in fact, Topps sent out the hobby sell sheets to distributors, to kind of the first bit of information. And usually we get the retail sheet within usually same day or next day, but that wasn't the case. We had to wait a few days. They made quite a bit of changes to both hobby and retail as far as the parallels go, and what exactly SKUs that Topps is going to offer this year.
So what was the big change between the two?
So in hobby, just like you said, they're adding a number of refractors. The yellows, there's a aqua, a rose gold. They're adding, and those are actually added throughout the whole retail and hobby. So not just hobby. So, but the other changes they made is some of the parallels that previously were exclusive to hobby are now moved to being exclusive in retail. For the popular gold refractors and black refractors are now only going to be available in blaster boxes this time. So that's kind of the big change that collectors are going to have to get used to this year.
When you say blasters, I also read on your site, it said value box. Is that the same thing?
Yeah, so Topps words. Historically, for years and years, they've always been called blaster boxes. And Topps recently changed the official name of them to value boxes. Sounds better, I guess, to Topps. But if you've been around the hobby for a long time, they're just called blasters. And they're those little 5-pack boxes. Actually, this time, up a pack this year, it's going to be 6 packs in Chrome 4. And that's because they're actually going to insert the atomic refractors into packs this time, instead of wrapped separately in a little 3-pack clear cellophane wrapper like in the past. Based on what the sell sheet said, they're going to be 1 per 2 packs. So you're still going to get 3 per blaster box. There's just going to be 6 packs in the blaster box to just kind of round things out.
Do the hobby boxes guarantee hits anymore?
So when it comes to Chrome, there's no guaranteed hits for hobby boxes. The only time that Topps has ever guaranteed anything is for the regular releases and collector boxes, where they guarantee a hit. But Chrome doesn't guarantee anything.
So the only thing you can sort of hope for is those blaster boxes will have the golds and the blacks, and then everything else, good luck.
Yeah, everything else, good luck. And it looks like everything else will be inserted throughout both. There's going to be 15, 16, I didn't count them exactly, different parallels available in both hobby and retail. The only ones you have to worry about, retail is going to have the blacks and the golds, and then the atomics, of course. Whereas hobby, the orange refractors, the red refractors, and the black wave ones are exclusive to hobby this time.
So there's nothing exclusive to the collector's box then?
Well, there is no collector boxes for Chrome.
There you go. I should stop asking about it then.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, no, there's no collector boxes on Chrome. And in fact, cases, come 12 boxes per case on hobby, whereas usually it's 8 boxes. So things are always done a little bit differently with Chrome.
So Jeff, let me just get this super clear. There is the hobby boxes that you can get from all the hobby shops and the card stores, and then for retail, from what I'm understanding, is there only one thing?
Yeah, this time, Topps has made a change. There's only going to be blasters this time around for Chrome, for GPK. Last time in Chrome 3, there was fat packs, but the Topps is not going to offer them this time around.
Fat packs have always been sort of like a thing through history, right? Because it's almost like the new age rack pack that they had back in the day. And so it's so weird that they're not selling that anymore. And I figured that's a way to get people's money and just give them a whole bunch of base cards.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I don't know if it has to do with production issues, because Topps has had a number of production issues this year throughout all of their, not just Garbage Pail Kids, but baseball cards. They've had to cut back on a lot of products, and they just can't get stuff produced like they want to.
So, Jeff, my brain starts to put numbers together, and I'm seeing all the different parallels that are available for this set. And I'm seeing way more parallels than I saw for the previous Chrome set. Do you think that means that production is going to be higher?
Right. So it could be. We have it's really hard to figure out at this point, and we won't know anything until the set actually releases. I think a lot of it, some of the added parallels has to do with Topps trying to spread out the exclusive parallels, because previously in like Chrome 3, for example, there were no exclusive parallels like black and gold moving to retail exclusively. So they've got to do something to replace those on the hobby side. Or else, because collectors buying hobby boxes expect, a certain level of hit rate versus a retail product. So it could be partially due to production. It could be partially due to them just spreading the parallels out. We just won't be able to see it until until the set actually releases.
Historically, how has it been?
Production the last year for everything is up. And you guys know that in the collectibles world, all card products, baseball cards, everything is just blown up. And so far, every set the last 3 sets Topps has released continues to set a new record for production, at least for the last few years. If you look back on Chrome 1 or Chrome 2, there weren't very many parallels offered. Topps kept it really simple, but production was still high on Chrome 1. So therefore, collectors opening a case of hobby Chrome 1, I mean, if you got 1 gold card in the case, that's all you got, you're probably happy because that's all you ended up with, Chrome 2, things changed. There wasn't as much demand for the hobby products. So those ended up being loaded, pulling multiple golds, multiple black refractors out of those. And collectors were happy with that. Topps wasn't so happy. And that's why we had to wait a few years before Chrome came back.
Chrome 3 didn't take a long time because we didn't buy Chrome 2.
Yeah, that's completely the reason why Chrome 3 took all those years.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, and it's really Topps' fault, right? Because they so much over projected Chrome 1 and the sales on it. They printed so much Chrome 1 compared to the other Garbage Pail Kid sets that were being offered at the time, just a ridiculous amount. Now, it's very similar to what they're offering today, but the demand today is much higher than it was back in 2013. So because of that, I mean, you could get Chrome 1, at the time for $35 for a box, a hobby box, and that's just, now you look at those and they're hundreds of dollars now, right, on the market. So nobody bought it. So then when they offered Chrome 2 a year later, distributors got the short end because they had a lot of leftover stock. So they didn't order Chrome 2. So because of that, there wasn't very much hobby order to Chrome 2. Topps offered it, so they printed what the orders that they had, because that's what Topps does. They print to order their products. And that's why the products were loaded, because not very much of it was ordered. And Chrome is expensive to print for Topps. So if they don't get the right amount of orders, they're not going to do it for years. So that's why we had to wait numerous years for someone at Topps to finally agree that there was enough demand to try Chrome out again in the Garbage Pail Kids world.
And they did really well with that third one.
They did, yeah. It's been very successful. Was that because of Chrome? Was it because of the pandemic and the collectibles market has just increased altogether? Who knows? But it's worked out well for Topps.
So, Jeff, I'm going to pull out one of the things you said, that Topps prints to order. So if more of us pre-order, does that mean there's just going to be that much more that's out there?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Topps has always for years gone on a print to order basis for their products. So when you order from the big online retailers, because they usually have about a month to get their orders in. In fact, the due date for these for Chrome 4 is early June. I forget the exact date, but it's early June. So distributors are going to get an idea of the demand for the product from places like Blowout, Steel City. When they all put their orders in for products, distributors know how much to order from Topps. And they put a buffer in. And so the more people pre-order right away, the more product Topps is going to print.
So then how does that, I know this is a tough question to answer, but how do you think that affects value if the production numbers go up?
Yeah, it's hard to look at historically when you have a ton of stuff printed. I mean, look at original series 4 and 5, right? I mean, there was tons of that, right? Before this last year, you can still get that stuff, even though it's 30 years old, for next to nothing. And even you can get sets today for not very much money because they printed millions and millions of those cards. But recently, the last year, with the collectibles industry exploding, it's tough to say. Right now, Chrome 3, for example, there's still boxes available. You can still get them for, $150 or so. So the price has gone up a little bit. Once those dry up, and then they're hard to find. People wanting Chrome or new collectors coming in trying to start their collections in a year or two. It'll be hard to find, and I imagine the prices will go up. But for a while, things might stay kind of level. Maybe go down just because there's so much available of the product.
Generally speaking, when let's say we see Chrome 4 come out, will Chrome 3 dip, or is that usually an indication that last previous set kind of rises a little bit traditionally?
I think you see a little bit of increase, especially because you always get new collectors coming into the hobby and trying stuff out. So they'll see Chrome 4. Oh well, let me go back and try to complete older sets, and so there'll be a small uptick probably. It really depends on the demand and when the product dries up, and when people can no longer find boxes to open.
Just to clarify for everybody about release dates for Chrome 4, what have you found out?
Yeah, so the stuff Topps sent out this week and last week have been a little confusing. If you look at the sell sheet, it says available in November of 2021. But there's also other PDF documents that Topps sends out to distributors that gives the barcodes and the SKU information and the pack out information. And on there, it says available the week of December 31st, 2021. So definitely two very different things. So I did reach out to Topps, and I heard back late last week that what actually happened was Topps had created the sell sheet, and they were planning for a November release. And they got the sell sheet approved by everyone in their company needs to approve it. After the approval happened, they got word that due to production issues that they're foreseeing coming up, the set won't be able to be released until December. I don't think that December 31st date is something that's a scheduled date. I just think that's a filler for now. From my understanding is that we won't see the set till December, and once it gets closer, Topps will have more of an idea of the exact date.
So do you think that there may be like a surprise Sapphire that gets dropped at this exact same time and just like empty out everything in our pockets at that point?
Right. Yeah. So I have no insider information on Sapphire. I didn't last year, and I probably won't hear anything this year either. If you want me to speculate, I certainly can. I mean, I'm sure Topps is going to do it again. I don't see why they wouldn't. It's sold out very well. It's doing extremely well in the secondary market, obviously. They will probably do it the same time frame. It wouldn't surprise me. Some things to keep in mind is, from a collector standpoint, while it's not the best way to release Sapphire right after Chrome and it kills Chrome, and kind of hurts that product, from a Topps perspective, they made cards for Chrome, they made cards for Sapphire, and they sold very well. They sold extremely well. So Topps made what they did. It sold so well, there'll probably be increases. It wouldn't surprise me if Sapphire has increased a little bit, and if the starting price is higher this time. Topps has a history in the baseball side of doing that. When they initially offered Sapphire, it was a $50 a box like Garbage Pail Kids was, and then the next Sapphire release, the price went up from Topps. So it wouldn't surprise me to see a higher price point and maybe even more cards printed.
And do you think it'll be OS3 and OS4 characters?
That's a great question. Maybe, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends on how long they think it's going to go for it. Because if they burned 3 and 4 together this year, what will they do next year? Will they move ahead of Chrome, and do 5 and 6, but only Chrome 5 in 2022? Those are all great questions. I don't have the answer for you. And, to top it off, Topps is in kind of a transition period with the Garbage Pail Kids brand manager. The current one, Jessica, left, so they're in the process of hiring someone. So, who knows at this point?
So you've been following and tracking all these sets. How have the production numbers been since, let's say, the OS series up until now? Like, is there a trend? Is there something that us collectors could just, a little piece of information we can find juicy about that kind of stuff?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. It's something I enjoy following. I like the numbers aspect of the hobby for some reason, and something I kind of gravitate towards. The recent receipts, starting with the 35th and going to Chrome 3 and then late to school have all crept up in production, and they keep getting higher and higher. And when you look at the past numbers, the numbers for the most current sets are higher than anything since before BNS1. So we're talking 20, 12, 11, 13, since before then. The problem with trying to go further than that is there weren't odds for stuff on packs because special inserts were kind of a new thing in the 2000s. So it's really hard to figure out production numbers, and Topps is notorious for not wanting anyone to know ever what their print numbers were. And honestly, I don't think probably anyone there even knows what the original series numbers were at this point. If I had to guess, we may be close to ANS numbers. I'm really not sure. It right now it's more popular. It has to be than anything since at least the middle of the 2000s. I don't think we're close to the original series numbers. There was so much original series boxes printed, especially when you look at the Series 3, Series 4, and Series 5. I mean, those are still readily available, easily available. They've been available for 30 years. There's so much of that product that was printed. We're not even close to that. But in the last 15 to 20 years, I think it's more popular now than it's ever been.
Which one had the lowest production numbers?
Yeah, I'd have to go back. I want to say the Trashy TV series. It wasn't a popular series, and it's kind of, I think, considered by most collectors to be kind of one of the least in demand series, and that showed with the demand at the time and even in the production numbers.
Jeff, this is fantastic information. We really appreciate you letting us pick your brain. Can you tell us a little bit more about the website?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I've started, in 2015, and I just wanted a place, to share kind of the most current news and updated, and try to be as complete as possible. Try not to overlap with some of the other guys do, and the other websites are fabulous as well. But yeah, you can find me at gpknews.com.
Amazing. Jeff, thank you very much for joining us. This was so much fun.
Great. I was happy to be here. Thanks for having me.